4 in a row. Let me go. I'm so sick of this freak.
And then I'll summon insect knife.
Standing inside the belly of a beluga whale, coming my ball.
Gonna use second coin toss, so try again, heads again.
Yeah!
Niall, you are right. I do want to kill you.
Yes. So here we are with 24 packs of set 6. Let's see what we got of this. I literally have not taken a single glance at this set, so I have no idea what's in it. We got Archosaur, which is pretty good. Ashiyan is pretty good as well, as far as I know. They do have to be on the field. The danger stuff. Target the danger control monster and return him to the hand. That's bad. Bad card. Banish a level or rank 8 monster from your graveyard. It's an interesting card, but I don't really know how we're enabling it right now. I don't know why there's so many ritual-related effects, because I've yet to see the payoff. Asura Priest is funny, but probably too low power for all this stuff. Lamia. Add a level 8 reptile from deck to hand. That's a pretty good effect. Wat Cobra is a good card as well. Water Lily. Okay, there's a reptile theme in here. Clearly is the aliens as well. The alien dog. Sapphire Pegasus, probably not worth playing. I don't think Crystal Beasts are going to be worth playing at all, to be honest. They were too weak for GX. I don't see them doing any better in a series that's stronger than GX. This also summons reptiles. Yeah, the reptile stuff seems real. Decree is pretty good. I don't like the idea that I have to play around it, but it's pretty good. Wat Cobra is pretty good. Mist Valley Falcon is a very good card. I would like some more of those. Duality is a very interesting one. Ooh, the Therian Empress. Definitely a reason to look into the reptile stuff. A second Therian Empress. Kind of hard to ignore that. Second Mist Valley Falcon. Also quite good. Third Mist Valley Falcon. There's the playset. I could play the deck. Mysterious Triangle. Penguin Soldier. Penguin Soldier is really funny, but I don't think we're doing that. Disc Coliseum is kind of huge. I could search for the Empress. Danger Jackalope's a very funny one. I don't know what we're doing with that yet. I'm gonna have to do a bit of digging through the card pool. See what we can actually accomplish with some of these cards. Ammonite's pretty good. I don't think I have anything worth summoning with it though, so we'll see. Rainbow Dragon basically a waste of a pull. I don't know what the hell. I'm not reading that thing now anyway. Rainbow Gravity, also bad. Stop with the fucking Crystal Beasts, man. Silent Wolf, Kalupa. Silent Wolf. Like Melee. And another fucking Rainbow Dragon. The Therians stuff are really good to pull. I don't know what the fuck the plan is overall. This thing's a worm. I could search for level 8 reptiles. This, actually, I can get this off of Lamia, which is nice. So I can like normal summon Lamia, search for Alasia, summon it if I've got another reptile in the grave. It's like a pretty good little play. Interesting, very interesting. I think that's honestly pretty good overall. Can't be too upset with that. Alright, so here we are, week 6? 6. Okay, so we've lost 2 in a row. Which obviously, you know, isn't good. So how do I get back to where I was winning every single duel? Control a deck again. Ninjas, flip monsters. We're just mashing the old shit together. But there's a little bit more going on than just that. So, as you can see, you know, all the ninja monsters are in here, including some new stuff I've picked up since the banning of Dancing Leaves. But we'll get to all that. So, this deck kind of centers around this card here, Mist Valley Falcon. This is a 2000 attack, 1200 monster. And it cannot declare an attack unless you return one card you control to the hand. So that is a downside, supposedly. So you might ask, why are we not just playing, Megalo Smasher X, this guy? It's just 2000, there's no extra condition. This isn't a cost, this is a benefit. You can really abuse this. There's a bunch of cards where, once it's been used, you'd love to put it back in your hand and use it again. There's an entire deck based around this card in Tengu Plan format, which I think is 2012 Yu-Gi-Oh! 2011 maybe? It's like the year after it is, 2011. The biggest thing you can really do with that, in that format you have 3 Limit Reverse and Call the Haunted. Unfortunately, I have 1 Limit Reverse and 1 Oasis of Dragon Souls, but I have other stuff I like to bounce as well. So Mist Valley Falcon, say I've got Sangan in the graveyard, and maybe a Ninja monster in the graveyard. And I've got a set Limit Reverse. I could summon my Falcon, I can flip up the Limit Reverse, reborn the Sangan, attack with the Falcon, bounce the Limit Reverse will destroy the Sangan. Sangan will search me a monster. I could search Baku the Beast Ninja, who will then summon himself. And when he summons himself, when he's added to hand, he special summons himself. And when he special summons himself, he gets back a ninja from the graveyard, so I could get back any ninja name, including Kagero, who can reborn my Joe, etc., etc. Also, Baku has a really cool interaction with Mist Valley Falcon. When he's added to your hand, except by drawing him, so returned to the hand by a card effect, I special summon himself. So you could have a Mist Valley Falcon out, you have nothing to return, you can normal Baku, swing with a Mist Valley Falcon, return the Baku to the hand, special Baku. You could also attack with the Baku, then attack with the Falcon, then the Baku will jump and come back, and then you can attack with the Baku again. So that turns Baku into 3000 points worth of damage if you do manage to do that. Kind of a niche interaction, but it's cool that you can do that. I was also considering playing this card, Agnimal Candle, for the same reason. Has that same effect where if it's added to your hand except by drawing it, you could special summon it. But Baku obviously synergizes a lot better with the cards we have in the deck. So what do we have in the deck? We have a bunch of ninjas, of course. We have 2 green ninja. We've cut this down a little bit because we need to make some space for some other shenanigans. 2 green ninja, which is great to discard off of the Wind Blast, or great to discard off of Dark Factory. You could also discard this off Tindangle Drelth, which is quite nice. We have the one Joe. We kind of just want to discard this most of the time. But if it gets stuck in our hand, we can summon it with Tobari the Sky Ninja. Most of the ninjas are searchable off the Sangan, and if the game plan gets going, we will be able to recycle the Sangan every turn, which means we're going to be able to search for multiple pieces over the course of a few turns. That is an ideal situation in which we get that loop kind of set up, but we have a few ways to kind of find cards in our deck, like Pot of Duality. We only have 1, but again, looping cards in this deck, it's very real. You can, say, flip up a Magician of Faith to add back this Pot of Duality. You can use it, get one of the 3 cards on top of your deck, shuffle it back, normal summon Mist Valley Falcon, attack, put the Magician of Faith back in your hand, so next turn you can set it again, get back the Pot of Duality again, and if they don't ever kill the Magician of Faith, then you're just going to get to keep doing that. Playing a lot of back row, so it's going to be quite hard for them to do that. We got, 2 Book of Moon, 3 Saku, 3 Wind Blast, a Compulse, 2 Bottomless. We have Smashing Grounds to kill them on, our own turn. We could do stuff like, discard the green ninjas to set their stuff face down. We have annoying stuff they might not want to attack into, like set copies of Drelth or Angel, which will basically plus us if they swing into them. And Night Assailant too. There's situations where you can search for a flip monster with, say, Spirit of the Fallwind or Sangan, and then set a different flip monster because you have so many targets in your deck. Kind of will maybe make your opponent play around the wrong thing. They might use removal on something that you don't really care if they use it on, or they might even go minus to get rid of something like a set Magician of Faith, and then it just turns out it was, a Tindangle Angel or something like that. I think the deck is a bit slow to get going, but once you establish the kind of loop of generating value over the course of several turns, this thing can really go off. Actually, notable inclusion here, Penguin Ninja. This is part of the Penguin archetype, but it says Ninja in the name, so it works with a lot of the Ninja cards. It's also a flip monster. You can search for It is a flip monster that you can search with Spirit of the Fallwind. It's under 1500, so you can search it with Sangan. You can do stuff, say, like, I don't know, if you open Night Assailant and any old flip monster and a Dark Factory on your opponent's turn, you can cycle away your flip monster, draw a card, and then your turn you can cycle away the Knight of Sail and draw a card and get back that flip monster, so you end up going positive over those 2 turns. And then you have things you can do like Tindangle Angel. If it's said, it can get back the Knight of Sail onto the field. You can flip up the Knight of Sail and pop a monster. Mist Valley Falcon again puts it back in your hand. So the theme is really just reusing cards you're not supposed to be able to reuse. So we don't really have a top end threat. We can synchro summon, I believe. Am I lying? I might be lying. I'm lying. We can't synchro summon, but you kind of don't need to in a deck like this. We're not winning by making an extra deck threat. We're just spamming removal to the point where they go down on cards and then our cards get us more cards. It's very simple. It's what I do every single time I win. So I figured, you know, we better just try this now. Gonna do my pre-Johns now. This deck's not very good. It's very inconsistent. A lot of one-ofs in here, as you can see. I do think if it establishes the game plan, it can really go off, but it's not reliable. Now, luckily or unluckily, depending on how you look at it, I'm in the Snake Pit, and we know Connor's been struggling, so let's hope he continues to struggle for one more week, just for our sake. But also, if he beats me, it's cinema, because I was abusing him verbally last week. So let's just hop into this fucking Snake Pit match now and see how we do. Okay, so unfortunately, there seems to have been an issue with the audio for this episode. I actually can't understand how. I did a quick test beforehand, and all the levels seemed fine. But when I recorded the video and played it back, everyone else, except for me, was basically inaudible. Sorry about that. So I'm going to very quickly watch over the games and just kind of commentate over. I know it's not an ideal setup. We're losing a lot of good bits. But yeah, I'm very sorry that this happened. But we may as well show you the games. So Snake Pit, we had me versus Connor. Let's just get to that. So I'm probably saying something not funny here. I'm actually behind myself on the real camera here. So as you can see, there are actually 2 Niles. And I'm yapping away about something. Connor's probably doing a bit where the room is green and it stinks. But you're just not going to get to hear that. So right here, I think I go paper. I'm not really sure what I was thinking there. But honestly, Connor's RPS skills have been... They've been not great. I think we actually... Yeah, we tie like 4 times in a row. I think it's fucking insane. Okay, no, I get him on the 4th time. But that was more of an RPS fight that he's put up in a while. I think he's starting to believe, I think, is how I would describe Connor. So this opening hand, you know, it's pretty good. I got Pot of Duality. I got Dark Factory, more production. Hitting them off with the Falcon off this. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, I add them off because it can recycle the Duality. There's an argument to add Mist Valley Falcon here, or even the Kill Spell. Because the Drelth can get Moth, but I think I just wanted to use it right away, and I had a removal spell to just keep going and get rid of whatever the hell else they were doing. And I've actually just switched it to 1.5 times speed because there's going to be a lot of yapping between moves, especially from a certain someone. Not me, in the Snake Pit. So even at, you know, 1.5 times speed, Connor still has not played a single card. It's his turn. There we go. Danger Jackalope. I knew this guy would be danger pilled. I should have known immediately. So he loses this Smashing Ground, which I don't feel too great about. I think that's probably the worst removal spell against my deck because they're all going face down anyway. It beats like Joe and that's it. What's he waiting for? He special summoned this for I'm mauling at Connor in the game hasn't even started yet. So right here I think I make a strange play because he knows it's a Moth. I feel like he's about to go into Black Rose Dragon, so I put that thing back in his hand because he's already used his normal. And I'm just kind of hoping that I have more cards by next turn, so I don't have to deal with it. Getting to use this card twice, kind of bullshit to be honest, but you know, that's kind of the whole reason I did this. I don't know why I'm not banishing the cards. There we go. I feel like you grab Sangan here? Get Sangan into rotation for all the other cards? Or am I thinking of Dark Factorying away the Night Assailant so I can recycle them off in a moment? I think that's what I was thinking of doing. So I think, do I go... No, I just let it happen. Don't know what me from a week ago was thinking, to be quite honest. A lot of dead air here without the others to fill in with their ramblings. But, so at this stage, I don't know if my move was great because now I'm just in the exact same position I was in before. Which seems a bit silly to me, but I think maybe what I was thinking of doing is he was going to go for the same play, so maybe I'm holding the Assailant so that... No, but it doesn't matter because the Dark Factory would die as well. For some reason he goes to battle phase here. And I'm not really sure why. Opening up himself to losing to a battle trap. Tobari with no targets. That's what happens when you play 7 1-ofs in your deck. Does he attack into the... I think he attacks into the Angel and I get to reset them off. So I get to use... well, I may get to use Duality again for the 3rd time. He doesn't even get to kill the Angel as well, which is kind of disgusting. Worth noting that if I do get Duality back and use it, I can't summon the Ferrotic Advent in my hand on that same turn because it's a special summon. You can't special summon the turn you use Duality. I'm not sure what he's thinking about here. Maybe he's thinking of going Black Rose, but maybe he doesn't want to blow up his own back row. Maybe he just thinks he's pulling the trigger too early. I'm not too sure. I also don't know what his other option might have been. I've kind of forgotten what was in his extra deck. So he does Synchro 7 here. I think it might. I think it is Black Rose, which is why he's trading 3 for 3 in the grand scheme of things because he's trading his 2 monsters in his back row for my 2 monsters in my back row, which I think is pretty good. But because it turns off my Dark Factory, and doing that also turns off the Night Assailant that is in my hand. That he knows about it is public knowledge. Yeah. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And that's pretty good. That turns it into a positive situation for him. He's able to kill the Black Rose before the effect resolves. And now he's up a card, which is pretty good. Like, obviously, I'm going to draw at the start of my turn. So we're on even cards, but putting the control deck on the back foot is pretty good. He now has a chance to kind of recover and do something about it. I think I do a Drelth. Yeah, just Drelth Seth. And Wind Blast discarding the Assailant is pretty good because yeah, obviously that gets me the Magician of Faith back, and then I threaten to do that shit again. Not activating Analyzer once, because this would be the second time. Sorry, yeah, this is the second time now he summoned it and had the chance to use this effect and hasn't done it. It tells me he has no other rock monsters in his deck, so that's a bit of knowledge he gave me there. I think if he wanted to obscure his deck, he should have activated it. Even though it shows me what's in the deck, it makes me think he's playing rock monsters. There's an argument to do that. The Eliminator is crazy. These are only available in the tournament packs, which you only get for losing matches. So I've had no chances to get a lot of these because I've only had the 2 losses and they've both been outside of the pit, so I've gotten 2 packs total. Putting the Mobius back on top there feels pretty good as well because obviously he... why did I add Angel back? Is it so I can set him off on the field, but I also have a blocker? Oh, I think I added Angel back because I needed another Fiend for Pharaonic Advent to tribute. This gets me any flip monster. I think it's Penguin Ninja or Angel are the only targets left. Just shows how much I've managed to search for all... I said to search for all my 1-ofs. It's pretty good. But that does mean my Sangan is actually starting to run out of targets. So the loop that the deck kind of revolves around is looking less and less important. But like, it just goes to show how good this deck is. Like, he had a chance to blow me out, and now he's already on the back foot in terms of card advantage. Because he's on 4 cards right now, I'm on 5, and I'm about to draw for turn in just a second. I also have Pharaonic Advent, which can search for more things, and one of the cards in my hand also gets a card back from the graveyard. Obviously, a back row is, you know, you got to be worried about it to some extent, but it's not the end of the world. I can also do a cool interaction here where you can discard Tobari to summon Baku, and then Baku adds Tobari back to your hand, so it's just a free special summon. I think I decided to be boring instead. Wonder why I didn't go for the Pharaonic Advent there. I did go for the Pharaonic Advent there. Oh, and now I contribute the Drelth to search for a continuous trap. Which is pretty cool. Discard Pharaonic Advent, it also counts the continuous traps in the opponent's graveyard. So Connor's got a Dark Factory in his graveyard, so it's actually making my guy bigger, which is pretty cool. At this stage, I was kind of worried that he would have had like Bottomless or Sakuretsu armor, but at the same time, you can't let those cards kind of like paralyze you. So I was like, no, I gotta like attack at very least. I gotta like put a play through and force him to like do something about it. I'm able to search for the other copy of Dark Factory here, which is really nice. Lets me re-establish the kind of engine I have going on. Successor Soul is huge here. Genuinely a proper blowout. So this card, he tributes his guy to get rid of my guy, and it gets him Neos from deck. I like, that's pretty big. I don't have much that's like bigger than Neos. I did normal summon here, so I think I actually have to take this back. Yeah. I had already set the Penguin Ninja to be tributed for the Pharaonic Advent. Here I think I'm thinking about doing the Tobari Baku play, just to block. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, I'm at 8,000 life points. I really don't think I need to do that. I may as well keep my Tobari in case I draw Joe Biden next turn. Which I think is the right move. Because, like, he has to come up with, what, fucking 5,500 more damage? I don't think he's doing that. This got me fucking scared, though, immediately when he Reguluses me immediately. This guy has 2 Regulus, I think. And yeah, the Gold Pride card that only he has is a machine, so it enables Regulus very easily. So I dropped down to 27, and I start to feel like, fuck, I made the wrong move. If he had had another threat in hand, I could have just died. I did get to smash here, and he has the choice of sending Regulus instead of Neos, but obviously he's going to send the Neos because the Regulus is bigger. And I do kind of like the way that Regulus is balanced in this series. Because we're not built around end boards, it doesn't really matter if you negate one effect by getting rid of your boss monster. That's a net positive for me. Yeah, so I do the Baku Tobari play here just to block. I get to keep my Tobari in hand, and if I draw Joe, the play is still live, so I could book the Regulus or force the Regulus to get rid of itself, which is just as good for me anyway. And here I have kind of a, not a lock established, but a kind of a bit of a stalemate situation. So I have the Tindangle Angel set. If the Regulus attacks into it, it can get rid of itself to stop me getting back a flip monster. If it doesn't do that, I get back Night Assailant. And then once Night Assailant's on board, it's like, well, I can flip and kill the Regulus, or I can flip and the Regulus gets rid of itself to negate me. It doesn't even negate and destroy. So it's kind of a lose-lose situation for him in this scenario. So I feel not confident because I am quite low. If he's able to get one attack through, I do lose. But I'm in a position where I'm not screwed completely. He should know my back row is Dark Factory because it's public knowledge that I added it. But he might have forgotten because a lot has happened in between now and then. So I think I just get rid of the Baku, draw a card, and then he has to decide if he wants to attack into the other monster here. Mr. Valley Falcon's pretty cool, but maybe not with Regulus around. So it's Angel. He gets to decide if he wants to destroy his guy. Obviously, he's not going to do that. And I think, just get Night Assailant here, just to threaten Regulus. And then, once Night Assailant has done that, Mist Valley Falcon, you can put the Night Assailant back in my hand to be discarded to Dark Factory, which can get back any other flip monster. So I'm threatening to get the engine online right now. He does kill the angel by battle, at least, but it ends his battle phase. If he had any other monsters, he'd be done, but obviously it doesn't really come up in this scenario. He sets another back row, which obviously I'm not thrilled about, but it's, you know, what can you do? Okay, this is pretty bad for me. He's about to stack Night Assailant on top of my deck, so I think what I'd like to do here is actually Dark Factory away the Night Assailant, because I don't want to be drawing it next turn, because that's a very slow effect, and I want to try draw something else that gives me a bit of action against Regulus right now, because almost anything I summon is just going to get killed. Now I could set the Tobari, which can't be killed by battle, but then I'm kind of in the same situation again next turn. Unfortunately, I don't get the Night Assailant trigger here, but I do draw the Angel, which is honestly almost as good. It puts me back in that exact same scenario again, where he has to attack the Angel or negate the Angel, and either way he's losing his Regulus. So one of the best possible things I could have drawn there, which is fair, but he also had one of his best possible draws in Windblast, so, you know, these things do happen. That's the variance you find in card games. I've kind of forgotten what his set monster is. I wonder what he has set that he's elected to not flip up by now. It must be something very specific, maybe a tuner perhaps, that he was hoping to block with. I'm actually not 100% sure. I've completely forgotten what he did set. Obviously he has a massive life points lead here, so I'd have to really establish the engine to threaten to close the game, because he could lose his whole board right now, and the biggest thing in my hand is 2k, and it puts things back in my hand, so I would need at least 4 turns to kill him, assuming I played nothing else. And that's also assuming I've cleared the board already. So he had a lot of thinking to do there, because there really isn't a good way out of this situation for him. I've put him in like a soft lock. But I think this is a great example of how good Dark Factory is. I wouldn't have been able to do a lot of this without Dark Factory. So now he's in the exact same situation before. Sorry, the same situation he was in before, because we've once again established the Night Assailant with the Mist Valley Falcon in hand, and now he just kind of has to let it happen. And he's run at the back row, and he hit the discard as well from hand to do that. So I'm able to flip the Assailant and go after the guy, and then he's just like, well, he has to let it die, because tributing does nothing. It doesn't really matter. Regardless, it's the exact same outcome. And then get to normal this. And then this is just insane value. Put this back on my hand, so I can either threaten to set it again, or I can Dark Factory it again. Snowman Eater, what can you do? At least we do manage to kill it. It's one of the few normal summon monsters that actually gets over Snowman Eater, which is another reason why I really do like Mist Valley Falcon. And because it puts the monster back in my hand at attack declaration, my Night Assailant is already safe. So I think, I like to do it here. I've already normaled, but yeah, I find more action to maybe set. This way I can set the Book of Moon to disrupt his play, and I have another card that I can just discard on this turn, and it doesn't really matter. Getting out the Angel is great. Just that loop now of set Angel, flip Angel to get back Night Assailant, and then when you have Mist Valley Falcon, you put the Assailant back in your hand, and you can discard the Assailant off the factory to get back the Angel. It's actually an infinite loop if they don't interrupt it. Obviously they will, because it's 4 moving parts, but usually by interacting at all, they've gone minus on cards, because everything you do is plusing you at this stage. This is another cool card that actually interacts with Mist Valley Falcon, the Spirit of the Fallwind. Because it triggers on normal summon, you can put it back in your hand and normal summon it again the next turn. So you can get multiple searches off of this. I think I did search for what is basically the last flip monster in my deck here, which was the last Night Assailant, but now I can start discarding this and maybe getting back my Magician of Faith or other bits and pieces. The Justicia here, the 2100 Defender, honestly kind of huge for him, because that actually would stop the Mist Valley Falcon as well. So it's one of the few cards in his deck that actually does deal with this situation. But I don't feel bad here. I've got 4 in hand, I've got 3 back row, I've got a bottomless trap hole. Yeah, and I've just gotten back my Magician of Fate. Now I'm up to 6 in hand, so the 1-for-1 removal cards start to come in great here, because me going down to 5 in hand, with him on 0 in hand and him on all this stuff, I think he tried to send a spell trap off of Dark Factory. I don't know if it was a bit, or he just forgot to read the card. But now I know that's a Dark Factory, I can start playing without any fear at all. I do just have to wait out the... wait out to find an answer to the Guard Dragon. And I'm actually not 100% certain. I think do I have a removal spell? I do have a Smashing Ground the graveyard, so I can flip them off, get the Smashing Ground, and start beating face in just a minute. So, with the board state in this state, like, a lot of people who don't really know card games might think that Connor is still in this. He's not. I'm very sorry now, the game is over. He's got 1 card in hand and basically 2 duds on field. Anything he does just plays into my back row and he loses more cards. So by playing, he loses cards, but by not playing, he lets me get more cards. So I'm just going to have more options than him every single turn. And this is kind of the reason a lot of new players really don't like Control as an archetype, because it does this to you. Here he goes after my Limit Reverse, and I don't really have any good targets, so I think I just let it go. I don't like chain it at all, yeah. He does get to look at my deck, but again, at this stage, I don't think there's much he could do. He could top deck a Regulus, but again, that plays at the bottomless. He goes Regulus, and I bottomless the Regulus, and the Regulus is now in a situation where it gets to choose if it goes to grave or banish. Obviously, going to grave is a little better, but it's not exactly a lot better. I get to look at his deck here. You can see he has the Red Eyes monster to summon, to send the Neos to summon itself. Finding another Falcon here is huge, because now I can flip them off, get back the Smashing Ground, and then with the Mist Valley Falcon, I can put them off back in my hand. Yeah, I just shortcut. I just say I'm smashing you, and he Dark Factories it away. So he does actually do the correct thing there. I can get in with them off here for 300, and then I can bounce back them off with the Falcon, which is really cool. So he's like safely reestablished that. Now I can set them off again next turn, or use it as discard fodder, and then it can get me back spell trap removal, a draw spell, or a monster removal spell. So I'm kind of just a situation where I just have access to so many options. And he bricked on Monarchs. So once you're that behind, like, without an insane top deck, winning is not possible. So I know I kind of spoiled the outcome of the game early there, but like, come on. He had just lost too many cards. It's nothing on Connor. That's just how Control works. It puts you behind, and then it generates advantage, and then you just kind of... Yeah, I just spoiled Morris's horrendous sleeves. Which... He has the Walton Goggins picture, and then I have no idea what this is about. It's a picture of someone's TV, where this guy is saying, "Could I be an Asian girl?" I don't understand. I'm really lost for that one, to be quite honest. So as usual, the Connor duel was 40 minutes long. Not really. There was some talking before and after. It was the longest one as usual. The snake pits are always an absolute fucking slobber knocker. So it did just take a while. They're always quite grindy matches. I think it's because if you end up in the pit, you probably don't have the most powerful deck, so you're really grinding your way out of there. I remember we're all joking here because Pierce had helped Morris build his deck, and he had told us this was an insane deck that was going to like absolutely blow our minds. So we were expecting a lot here. And then we see him normal summon Neos Alias, and I was like, oh my fucking god, someone's playing the stupid fucking hero deck. I fucking hate elemental heroes. I hate them so much. The only one I like is Clayman. Adam is actually the king of I was going to say T setting, but he just set his entire hand. So this kind of telegraphs a morphing jar to me. I know I've already seen this match, but this is what that, like, I don't fully remember what he did here, but I see set of monsters set 4, and I'm like, that's gotta be a morphing jar. So I wonder if Morris picked up on that, or is he just balling out? If he does pick up on that, he should set all of his back row right now. He does the EN shuffle here. This lets him put back one of the E heroes and get he can get the Neos directly from the deck into play, which is pretty cool. So yeah, Blazeman there comes out. He's able to add Poly, which is pretty good. I think him and Kaito Terra, 2 actual ways to search polymerization in this series, which is pretty neat. Honestly, the main reason I dislike Hero is because so many Hero decks are just Skill Drain Turbo in old formats, or they are Super Poly Turbo in new formats. So I hate that shit. Or they do Turn Skip Turbo with the fucking Cosmo Neos or whatever the fuck he's called. So polymerization here, I actually forget what he gets. No, I remember what he gets. I saw this card and I was just like, what does it do? I don't get it. It just doesn't seem that spectacular to me. Adam Secret Blasts him in response, because that's the right time to do it when Morris has more cards, because he's about to lose. These 3 cards are about to become 1 card, so he does more damage right now. No chains in response, so makes me think he doesn't have a chain strike. If he did have a chain strike, he should have done the full chain there because he had a free chain link. Because that Secret Blast was chain link 2, so that would have been a lot of damage. This thing, it searches for a trap. Favorite Contact, I think it is, but we just saw it. I literally forgot the name already. That's clearly what he said there. But it doesn't seem to do anything else. I thought this thing would have like the Flame Wingman effect where it does like the burn effect when it kills something, but it doesn't even seem to do that. He can also... This thing is like Lone Fire for E-Heroes in the fucking... in the extra deck, which is really strange. Analyzer is huge here. I think he forgets to activate it. Yeah, so I really do think Adam should have done these last turn. All in response, because he had another Secret Blast. He would have done more damage because Morris would have had more cards. Chain Strike would have been 2 chains bigger than this. The bribe does hurt. I think though when you know you're playing against Chainburn, you should Dark Bribe the first thing in the chain. Because they can't respond to it. And then they just don't get a chain that big. So you're nerfing the Chain Strike and stopping another card completely. So that is kind of my go-to in this situation. So they all discard the Morphin Jar. He discards Hero Mask, and he seems very upset about that. I think he really did need this to resolve to go for his play. But I think if relying on Hero Mask, your play might be kind of ass. I think that's too many things you need to resolve to do one thing. Adam also... He's setting his whole hand again. Not activating Analyzer, and also not Synchro Summoning here? Unless he has a Book of Moon for the jar. I don't remember. He does Synchro Summon, okay. The Metaphys Horus, which I can't remember what this thing does. He negates this thing's effects, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. This is just, I think it's the only generic level 6 that Adam had. He didn't have Gaia Knight. I guess it clears the guy on the field, though. And Morris's deck, this is why I'm a bit, a bit underwhelmed after it had been talked up so much. It just kind of fell apart after one thing went wrong. I feel like you can't make turn 1 combo decks in this format consistent enough to where they're worth building around. I think you need to make something that has multiple axes of play. Adam's deck is so funny, man. I don't know how he's gotten away with having fucking triple morphing jar for this long. Do you see him playing the trap monster support here, which is pretty cool? He This thing can quick synchro or quick exceeds in the battle phase. He's another chance at level 6 synchro here with the trap monster and the Sol. Yeah, but you can Dust Tornado this. When it's a monster, it's still treated as a trap card. So you can use Dust Tornado to kill it. Now he does have the option of a level 8 synchro here. But I'm not sure how real Morris's back row is, given that he's playing hero. Usually they have to dedicate a lot of spells and trap slots to copies of polymerization, stuff like that. Pretty cool from Adam's deck here. He's able to put 2 monsters in the field without using the normal summons, so he's actually still able to tribute summon Zaborg and pop this face down. And yeah, he just wins. So, like I was expecting there, the back row for Morris doesn't seem to be real at all. So it's Adam in finals once again. He can't keep getting away with this. This is me versus Pierce. I'm going to let you know right now, this is a fast one. This is a fast one. And said, there's the Homer Simpson copy pasta again. Makes another appearance. Since you know about the control deck, and this is a fast one, you might be able to figure out how this goes. But I open, it's a fine hand. And if I had some time, this could be a great hand. Alright, then I see Fossil Dig and I start to get scared. Because I'm like, dinosaurs, what the fuck is he doing with the dinosaurs? We banned the best ones, right? And then, yeah, fucking Stego comes down and Stego pluses him. Yeah, he gets to add that to hand and then discard it, so he just sends it straight to grave. And that thing next turn is going to get to do this. This fucking Jurak guy... He just, he seems to open, full combo. I said this because I'm worried about a synchro play. He just tribute summons over it to get the Manticore smashing. So I'm already facing down 3,500 damage here. I go to Saku the Manticore, and he fucking Xenometeoruses me. So I just take 2k anyway. He brings this back with Smashing Ground. Wait, how did you do that? He searches for Smashing Ground. How does he get it into the graveyard? I just didn't read this card properly. I thought the Smashing Ground had to be in your fucking graveyard to summon this thing, not in hand. This card's even better than I thought. Yeah, he's just able to banish the copy he already added. Fair enough. That was me not understanding the card. Brings it back. Thankfully, it's a hard once per turn on us off. But now I'm facing down a lot of damage, and unfortunately, his back row ends up being real, which is, yeah, very frustrating. Not really sure what I could have done there. So the play there was going to be Exile Force one of the monsters, bring back Exile Force with the back row, and then Exile Force another one of the monsters, and then hopefully only have to face down the Doodle Beast next turn. But he's able to do this at fucking quick speed and kill my guy. So I'm put in a position now where next turn I have to use my spell just to block something. So I've lost the game from here. This is just an insane situation. His deck just absolutely shit out a bunch of massive guys. I think it was a combination of a strong opening, and we also just overlooked how good some of these Dino cards were until just now. But it's honestly insane that he opened up like 4 like level 5 plus monsters or whatever, and he was able to summon all of them. Yeah, so I gotta block this here. So I think I'm able to survive one more turn. And then a monster was destroyed, so Xenometeorus comes down, and I just lose. Like, like, what can you even do in that situation? Just a crazy deck that I think none of us were really ready for. And then finals is, again, Adam and Pierce. Someone's like riffing here, so there we go. So Pierce does get the RPS win, which is never a good sign. So he doesn't do anything immediately, and usually Pierce is pretty quick with his turns. So when I see Pierce hesitate, it must be a strange hand. Oh, it's actually Adam going first. Okay, that's why. Okay, yeah, because Pierce is, he practices his decks a lot, so he knows the lines right away. Usually, anyway, I do find that. So he's able to, like, just sequence the turn fairly well, like, nice and fast. Yeah, he's, like, summons the Velveto very quick. And this thing is cool. It's like a Mystic Swordsman level 2 type effect where when it attacks into this monster, it's just going to kill it straight away. It's a great Morphing Jar counter, which I think is what he is reading. And he has to explain to Adam. It's like, nope, you don't get to Morphing Jar here. Pretty big blow immediately. And then the Xenometeor is coming in immediately afterwards. He's already got 4,200 attack on board. If he summons a half-decent monster next turn, he just wins the game. Like, that's the speed that this Dino deck is able to put out, which is honestly, like, crazy that, like... I guess I didn't get some of the more important pieces. I didn't get a Xenometeorus, and I didn't get Jurak Megalo, which seem to be, like, some of the good playmakers in this. I think just Xenometeorus as, like, a Bayer Rock Dragon type of card, where it just summons itself when something dies. It's pretty good. Flake up Instant Fusion here. It feels bad to do an extender type play like this into 2 back row, but Adam's kind of got his back against the wall here. That is a pretty good punish, the double pop, but yeah, obviously one of these is going to deal with the Mobius. He does lose the other one at least. But yeah, now he's in a position where that back row has to be real, which in Burn it usually isn't, so he's kind of really on the back foot here. I think the pressure the Dino deck puts down very early is just, it's very scary. And it's why Pierce just fucking blew everyone out this week. I think the strength of his deck isn't a knock against the Burn deck. I think the Burn deck does have its weaknesses. I don't think it's a knock against my deck either. I think my deck is slow, but I think it has like a high ceiling. It's just very well countered by something like Pierce's deck that it just comes out of the gate swinging, and if you're not ready, you're just going down. I think Pierce is really drawn to those type of decks though, and it's clearly like he found one that consistently shits out damage nice and early. Try to clear the back row here. Justin, yeah, that might have been Adam's only real back row. But the second half of this week just flew because it's just Pierce decking people with dinosaurs. The conversation here goes for a bit, but obviously you can't hear that. The bans do end up being Connor bans Xenometeorus, which is a very fair ban because obviously we just saw it deal a lot of damage. Morris decides he's sick of decks that do the Dark Factory thing. Fair enough. So Dark Factory is gone, and I decide to get rid of Doodle Beast Tyranno because I'm scared of the dinosaur deck. And I felt like Xenometeorus alone wasn't enough of a slap on the wrist, so I wanted to like make sure one of the bigger threats was taken out. They still have the Jurak stuff, they still have Velveto, There's still the Doodle Book, which can search for level 5 or higher dinosaur monsters, but I'm not really sure what the targets are. I think the deck is significantly neutered from this stage. So I think that is like, it's in a lot better, kind of more fair and manageable state. I think maybe the dinosaur engine, especially because there's stuff like Kaito Terra still around, I think it still has potential. But I think something needed to be done about it right there and then because it was very scary. So yeah, that is the episode. So it's Pierce wins, Adam gets second, me and Morris lost in the first round, and Connor once again, unfortunately, fell in the snake pit. All of the Connor champions, please comment on the video. Give him your strength. He needs to get out of the snake pit. But yeah, sorry again about the audio issues and this very kind of less fun, kind of, I don't know, narrated version of Ebog Prog. This is unfortunately kind of the quickest solution I could come up with in the moment. So hopefully now I'm going to double check the audio next week as we're recording, because I really don't want something like this to happen again.